Hey guys, what's up? PipSnipers here, back for another update. Let's take a look here at BTC. This is Asian session, Monday, October 27th. And, we're seeing a little bit of a push up. Just like I mentioned in the last video, we could see a push up to around the 61.8% fib, found by taking a fib right from the peak of the range down to the trough. And we're seeing a move up just above the 50 and 100-day moving average. Okay, so like I said in the last video, there is a possibility BTC pushes up above this moving average cluster very slightly up to the 618 and then sees a retraction back into the range below the October 13th highs. We could see that, or it could reject off of this supply zone over here from 116 down to 115. Okay, next supply zone is at 118 down to 117,692. But in the case that BTC gets a daily close above that level, so above the 61.8% fib, then it's very likely, or I would say it's more likely than not, that we're going to come up to at least the highs of this range right here to the 78.6% fib at 121,408, get a 4-hour close above this level at the 786, then it's very likely we're going to go ahead and make a new all-time high. But in the case we make a new all-time high, it still wouldn't negate this divergence that we're seeing on the 2-week MACD and the weekly RSI. So you have triple negative divergence on the weekly RSI and regular bearish divergence on the 2-week MACD. When you take a look at BTC on the monthly, in this middle pane over here, if we made a new high, it would look something like this. Now, this monthly closes in 4 days and 20 hours. And, we still have time to see how this month plays out. Remember what I said, I really want to see how this monthly candle closes. Will it be a long-legged doji that marks indecision? Or will we get a push back up to these highs? Right? So the question is will we get something like this? And then a retraction back in the range? Or will it be something like this? And that's how it will look on the monthly. You just come up just a little bit to the fibs, to the fib resistances here. Okay, so that's the bullish scenario, and the bearish scenario would be a daily close below 107,566. I did say that in my previous video, and if we get it, then it's likely we're going to see continuation down to around $80,000. The reason I'm saying 80,000 is because that is where the 50% fib is when you take a fib right from the low in 2023 up to this high. Actually, the 50% fib is at 70,698. 618 is at 57,696. And whenever you're pulling a regular fib retracement tool, always use the linear scale. I noticed it gives more accurate targets, but this is a classic power of 3 setup. 1, 2, 3, right? So Bitcoin can range a lot in here and even come up to this upper quadrant and then retract, right? So Bitcoin can still be bullish in the short term. However, will a move up here be sustainable for an altcoin rally? And, that opens up the doors to a Bitcoin dominance analysis. Like I said in the previous video, in the case that BTC makes its way up there to a new all-time high or even to the highs of the range, and Bitcoin dominance is still trending up like it's doing now, still making higher lows, then we risk the all Bitcoin pairs getting devalued if Bitcoin falls from those higher regions. So Bitcoin dominance, like I said, would need to be under this trend line by the time Bitcoin gets up there, or if Bitcoin gets up there. Okay, I want to also see how this monthly candle closes in 4 days and 20 hours. If it forms a long-legged doji, it would still be bearish because it does mark indecision in the market, and it wouldn't necessarily negate this divergence. It wouldn't negate it at all. If Bitcoin made a new all-time high here, this is what the RSI would look like. I'll show you guys. This is the weekly RSI, and it would just do this if BTC made another high. It would do that, this, and then that. And then the 2-week MACD would probably look like this and then come down. Right? It could just go a little higher like this, and then you form triple negative on the 2-week MACD. So that's why I'm saying we need to watch Bitcoin dominance here, especially if you're altcoin heavy. If you're altcoin heavy, keep your eyes on Bitcoin dominance, because that's going to tell us where smart money is allocating their cash. Right? Is it going to be concentrated in BTC, or will there be a trend shift? That's something we need to keep our eye on, because so far, looking at the chart objectively, there's no denying that we are making higher lows here. So remember what I said in the Bitcoin dominance video? I think I put this out only to members, so you may not have seen. Actually, yeah, I think I mentioned it in the free Telegram, that we need to see a break below this diagonal. But there even exists a scenario in which Bitcoin dominance comes down here and then pops off from there, because this would be the diagonal trend line since December 2023. And the bearish scenario for Bitcoin dominant, for altcoins, would be that this is an ABC, and we're going to make our way up to a new all-time high on Bitcoin dominance. So it's hard to have an all season if Bitcoin dominance does that, or makes its way back to the 200-day moving average. And this move over here was just a reversion back to the mean before filling in this wick over here. So there's that scenario, or we break below both of these trend lines, and then we can consider that this is a B wave, this is your A wave, and then we come down to this weekly inversion fair value gap right here. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Peace out and take it easy. See you in the next one.